Hey, how you guys doing today? It's me, BS Anime. As we know, the Love Live Squall Festival All-Stars game came out for worldwide release. That came out yesterday, so I'm sure some of you have already been playing and trying to figure out how to play this game and whatnot. So I'm here to just explain some of the basics. I'm not an expert in this per se, but I've played it for a while, so I definitely do know a lot of things. So I'm here to give you some tips and pointers that I wish I knew, and I don't know if the tutorial really explained it very well. So I'm here to elaborate. I might mention this more times later in the video, but I want to make sure this was really early on. This game is a RPG role-playing game, meaning you want to level up your characters before you take on harder tasks. Unlike Squall Festival, doing hard will destroy you if you have a bad team. You need a good team before you can perform on hard difficulty songs, so stay on easy for now, guys. Eventually, you'll move on to the medium difficulty, but until you get better teams, more super rares and ultra rares, you should not be testing those. Why is that? Because every time you tap a note, you'll lose stamina and your health bar will go down. No matter, even if you get wonderfuls, you just lose less stamina, as well as later when I'll talk about peel chances. If you fail those, you'll lose a lot of stamina. So you want to start collecting cards that can provide you with recovery, increasing stamina, which some cards will do. Ultra rares are also a little better at doing that. But the point is, this is not going to be focused on the mechanics side of the game where you had to tap notes spamming your screen. That's not this game. You only have 2 notes to tap here. But it's more of, do you have a good team built up? If you don't have a good team, you'll fail no matter how good at you are tapping those notes. Just to make sure you guys are absolutely 100% clear on that. So why you can't pass certain songs, just because your team's not good enough, so you need to start training them if you want to start collecting duplicates and make it so your character's overall better. That is this game. It is not focusing on how good you are at tapping the notes. So here, let's start on the main screen here, and I'm going to start from the top right and move all the way around and cover everything on the main menu here. So first, let's start right around here. As you can see, this question mark here. By going to here, this is just the tutorials. I'm not saying and showing you this just because I'm lazy and that they could explain here, but this could also explain further things. This will at least give you a decent understanding of the basics of the game. I think it's important to go through all of it, not necessarily because I'm being lazy and I want you to do this rather than listening to me, but you get 500 stars for completing it, I believe, which gives you a full scout of ready available. So definitely do it. You want to do it. Here on the top right, we have our stars. That is our currency this time. Instead of the love gems, which were use 50 for a 10 scout, we actually need 500. So it's just love gems, but you multiply by 10. So 10 of these stars is equivalent to 1 love gem. From before, coins, we'll talk about that a little bit later. You use this for leveling up your characters. AP is for training, which will be over here, which we'll get to later. And LP is your life points. You use this every time you consume a life, and you'll recover it there. We have your level and XP, and this is just your titles over here. Once you start collecting titles, you can go ahead and switch them when you get them. Getting these tiles, you have to complete a certain song 100 times. This is available for every song here. So if you want like the Tokyo Mecha Runner one, play that song 100 times and you'll eventually get it. We also have other tiles available for each individual girl. If you put that girl in the center of the team you play and you actually play, if you do it 100 times, you get the 1 star. If you do it 500 times, after the 100 times, the 600 times, you can get the 2 star, which is a silver border with a heart with the girl. And if you do it 1,000 times, after the first 2 times, or 1,600 times, you get the 3 star of that girl. So if you like a girl a lot and put it in your center, you can also get those titles. There's also ones available for the subunits if you're interested in that. Here we just have advertisements. Don't really need to pay attention to that. That's just if you like to go into premium stuff. Here is a big menu screen where you can go ahead and take a look at your profiles, titles, which are the thing I just talked about. You can connect your Squall Festival if you have the older game, and if you connect to this game, you can get rewards if you reach a certain level in that game here. So there's a variety of rewards for doing that. So you can go ahead and day link here if you're interested in that. Beyond that, it's just nothing too exciting. You can get there, you can see your purchase history, you can change your live settings, which is definitely nice. There's some tips, achievements, whatnot. But that's just mostly it. Here is just info. I don't know if you like reading news and stuff. I always skip it, and I always hit the don't show again today here. Here in this tab right here is your goals. You have your daily, weekly, frees, and events. Dailies, I recommend doing this every single day. Make sure you play 3 daily live songs and You as well do some trainings and just do regular live shows. Do this every day and get your 10 here. For weekly, same deal. Do this to gather all your gems here. For events, these will come once in a while. Just look and listen to the events. A lot of them require team formations or play with certain characters. Just take a look at whenever an actual event comes out, which we'll talk about later. But that's more or less the idea of this. It gives you a bunch of rewards, so try to complete them when they come out. We have our gifts. This is where you would get event rewards. So if you complete an event and you get a certain reward, it'll show up into here. You could also get your story gems in there as well. So it's going to be all stored here. In this next tab, this is where you deal with your friends. So if you want to send a friend request or if you want to make friends, you can do it. Like this is my ID right here. So you can go ahead and set requests and whatnot. You can try friending me here. I don't think I'll play too much on this one, but in JP one I will be playing here. So let's take a look at this tab. This is the quickest and easiest way to change your partner. Your partner, just like before, will be displayed on your main screen, but it doesn't have to do anything with what's on your team here. So there's all 27 members here. So if you like a certain character, put them on your main screen. What does this do? Well, it has them on the main screen. They will talk to you once in a while, and you can tap on them and get messages. Also, while they're on the main screen, you get a certain theme. So let's say, I don't know, I want Yoshiko on my main screen, so I'll tap her. This will switch the main screen to her theme. Now, of course, she's just wearing her regular uniform. We'll talk about soon enough how to change that. But if you want a certain character, you can choose whoever you want to be. It doesn't have to be good. You don't even have to pull a single card for them. You can just have them on your screen. So let's try one more here. Let's say I want Ellie. Each character has their own unique theme. So if you have like a theme that you like listening to, you can put that on as well. I switch it all the time. I think this is a fun, nice way to do it, and we'll talk a little bit more how to customize it a little bit more eventually. But if you're interested in listening to all the themes, I have them on my channel, so you can listen to every theme. Each theme is tried to stylize to the character to match their image to a certain degree. Here in the bottom, this just removes the UI, so you can get everything out of the way. I don't know if you want a screenshot or something like that. This will be just goals, only for the intro. This does not show up in the future. Once you complete all the goals, you're out of rewards. So let's go to the bottom left. This is school idols. So let's talk about the top right, the practice. The practice is like what we did before. We level up the girls. This is the list of all your girls with the levels. If you see the silver border, that means they're rare. And then we get the orange-ish color, which will be super rare. Now take note that there is going to be no super rares. That was introduced later in School Out Festival. That has not been introduced in this game yet, and I don't think there will be. But we'll have to see. And then there's Ultra, which will have a rainbow, which I have not pulled yet. So here we got our 4 super rare girls here. So we can go ahead and tap on one, and we'll get more information about them. So we have this screen here, which shows a bunch of all these diamonds. So what is all that? So first, let's start on the left here. Level. Like before, we have to increase the levels. We'll increase their stats here, which are your appeal, stamina, and technique stats. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty about what these really mean. Just know bigger is probably better at this moment for now. Increasing the levels, you can hit this level up button and will consume the gold resources as well as this resource right here. I'll talk about how you get it, but you can go ahead and try to spend these resources to get a certain level. If you want to hit max, this will give you the maximum you can level up, and this will level up your stats here. This is how you get your characters a bit stronger. Not the most important thing, but definitely, especially in the future, this is going to be one of the easiest ways to do it. You want to do this for every character that you have, that it's going to be on your team. The limit increase is now the new version of the Idolize. Before, you have to collect duplicates to get it, and then you could spend the stickers to idolize it. Here, every time you get a duplicate, it'll automatically increase the limit on it. Increasing of limits will open up more of this tree right here. As you see these locks, each individual lock is indicating one of the limits. When you break one of the limits by collecting it, you'll get up to this lock right here. I cannot go past it because I have not had a limit increase. So you can either collect duplicates or you can spend these feathers. If you collect these school radiance by getting duplicates beyond the max that you're allowed to have, you'll start collecting feathers, or you could potentially get them from rewards from events. As you can see, there's 5 here, so if you collect 6 of a character, you'll actually gain each one here, one for each time you pull a duplicate. Once you pull the 7th one, it'll automatically be turned into the Radiance item. So the higher the rarity, the more expensive it is to manually do it without pulling a duplicate. It's 125 for an ultra rare, so be mindful of what you spend it on. Here we have information of skills. So let's take a look at this long tree now. So each individual here will increase stats, and I'll tell you how much it costs. So this says it will cost 5 green macaroons, which I have, and by doing that, it will increase my stats here. If you want to complete more than one thing, like you're here and says I want to go all the way into like the skill thing, you can go and tap that, and I'll tell you everything you can need for every single one, so you don't have to manually tap each one. There are things called skills, which we'll talk about soon enough. By unlocking the skill thing, you will be able to unlock new skills you can get. Insights as well as voices will unlock more voices for your character on their screen, which we'll talk about. Idolizing right here gets it so this character gets a new costume. From before, I had this costume, but since I unlocked it, I have now this because it's idolized. Idolizing will let you get special stories for certain characters. So doing all this kind of stuff will unlock you more abilities, more skill slots that they can have, and whatnot. By completing everything from before the first limit, you will be rewarded 10 gems as shown right here. And if you go and unlock 59 different slots, you can get 10 more, and everything gets a 75. You can hit auto unlock if you just want to do all the upgrades you're able to do without having to manually check each one, which is definitely the fastest one to do it. Here is the item tab. So if you're wondering how much of certain things you have, this is one of the spots you can do it here. So let's talk about a little bit about each individual one here. These are the macaroons. You get these from training. We'll talk a little bit more about that. If I were to say anything that I've struggled to get in from playing early on in the game, it's definitely these silver macaroons and the triples. The triples are the hardest to get out of each individual one. So the triple silver macaroons hard to get than this. So you'll get a lot of these so much you probably never want to see them again. While the doubles are a little bit harder and triples are the hardest. These are, for example, used to help you get outfits and stuff. The outfit is probably one of my favorite ones right here. To get the costume, you want to get this. This will unlock you to use your costume for that girl, which is not available for rare characters, but for super rare and ultra rare and above. Or just super rare and ultra rare. These are what they call memorial pieces. By collecting memorial pieces, you are able to move further down the tree. I'll explain how you get these, but there's one for each character. And then there's these books and these flower buds, as well as squall badge. These things you can collect from events. They give it a lot away from the events and rewards. You can also get these from training, but I never really struggle with these, so I don't think you should worry too much about these. You'll just collect these naturally. So you want to try to do that for every single character and try to unlock as many outfits as you want, because outfits are pretty cool. Let's go into short formation. Now if you're interested in how do I team build, since it's really early on, I wouldn't focus too much on it. The basic idea is throw in the highest rarity you have. If you get characters from events, they have less priority than characters that you didn't pull from events of the same rarity. So if you get a super rare, replace the rares. If you get a super rare from an event, not as good as a normal super rare generally. And if you have an ultra rare, obviously it beats all the super rares, so just try throwing them in. Color is not too much of an importance here. Unlike in School Festival where every color was used for a certain kind of song, that doesn't matter as much here. So now let's take a look at the next thing here. So we got all these colors up here, right? So what are all these colors indicate? So we have these things called subunits. When you play a song, I'll show you what it means. But we have a green, the blue, and the red. You naturally start on the green subunit. So depending on your playstyle, you might just stick onto one subunit, which I'll explain a little bit more. Or you might switch on it. I stick with the one subunit team because I'm lazy and I don't feel like switching unless I have to. So probably you want to put your best members in the green ones here. Which I haven't done it, but I'm not too worried about it. But if you want to swap a member, you can just simply go click on them and just tap on whatever character you want. Pretty simple. If you tap and hold, it'll jump you straight to the screen. Now it looks pretty familiar, and if you want to go practice, you can here. Beneath each character is their costume. If you want to switch a costume to a costume unlocked, you can go ahead and tap that and change it. That you want to change it here, so when you have a live, they're wearing that outfit. If you don't have another outfit, it's just got nothing there. So you have to start unlocking outfits. If you want to see that girl, you have participated in that. When you're using a team formation, if you have a duplicate of a girl in your team, they will not show up in that song. So for example, if I did a Mew song and I have 2 Makis in there, well, whatever Maki is probably closest to the middle in the team formation is the only one that's going to show up, and whatever costume that Maki is wearing. The other Maki will be replaced by whatever girl that should be in the actual formation of that song. So if I had 2 Makis in there but we're playing an Aqua song, it will probably throw an Aqua member instead. Whoever is actually in that right formation. The ones you want to be displayed in the live, more likely, you want to put into the center. If you're doing a subunit song that only has 3 members, it will only display these 3 girls here. Doesn't matter what your green subunits are. It'll just show that, and that's it. So whoever you want to be displayed, make sure you put them in the center. It will show you if it's a 2 songs, 2 units like Diver Diva songs, you only get these 2. If it's a single song, a solo, you only get the middle one. If it's 4, it should be these 4, if I'm not mistaken, from Court songs. If you want to swap the position of the colors of these subunits, I don't know, it's kind of finicky, but from what I've noticed, is generally you want to tap this person, and like say this person, when what you could do is say I go in here and tap on that card that I know it's in there, and I believe usually it swaps them. So now we have the green here and the red there, if you like to do it that way. That's what I would probably do, but you don't have to do it that way. But if you want to fully switch it, it's a little annoying. Otherwise, I'm sure there's a better way. I just haven't bothered with that too much. So now we have this button right here, which we have these kind of accessories. Now, I haven't collected accessories, but these are just small little stat boost items I can throw in there, which I'll show you on my Japan side what that looks like, because I don't have it on the EN version. Beyond that, we have training formation and school idols. I don't bug with this too much. This is just a list of all your school idols you got here. And then we have the training formation, which you can also actually do it somewhere else, so not a big deal here. Let's move on to the next thing. So accessories. This is the menu where you have all these accessories that you can show. I'll jump to the Japan version to show you what this actually looks like. Next up is shop. This is where you can spend all your money for stuff that you want. I wouldn't pay too much attention to this if you're not looking to pay any money here. If you want to get more slots, you can do it here. The only thing you should really pay attention to is this right here. We have these things called shiny quartzes and pieces. Whenever you do a live scout and you do that paid scout, you end up getting 10 of these shiny quartz. While that scouting event is still going on, you get to keep that, but after that scouting event goes, it gets converted into shiny pieces. So you can use this to exchange for any kind of resource that you want. So once you start storing them up, you can get whatever you want here. Now if you go ahead and save up for 15 scouts, which that's insane, you could actually trade them and get a guaranteed ultra rare. But I gotta remind you that you need 15. And once that scout event's gone, all of these quartz will be converted into shiny pieces, which are definitely not as useful here. So just think about if you really want something, you have to do that. But I have not been able to do it ever, so I don't think you would probably do it too unless you're like really spending a lot of money. Beyond that, there are the 9 anniversary outfits that you can probably get from the screen if that eventually gets added here. So keep a lookout for that. So here we got the story tab. There's going to be a lot more than just 2 chapters here, but this is where you can go into the story. This is where you unlock most of your songs. You can go into the story and you can go ahead and listen to the story, and you get 10 gems, which you go ahead into your box to pick it up once you get resources. If you see a rainbow, you can probably tell that's going to be a story, while these colors, that solid colors, you can know are songs. Like blue indicates it's Aqua, while we can see pink generally indicates it's Muse, and orange is going to be Nichigaku. So this is where you're going to collect it, and generally whenever a new chapter gets out, a new song gets released. Next up, we got the live show tab. So here you can go to normal and daily songs. Normal songs are where you can go ahead and just choose a song you want, and there's a big rotation of songs here. Of course, a lot of these are locked for me because I haven't gotten far enough in the story, but eventually you can lock stories for each individual girl here. So all of these songs we have a lot of solo songs from Nichigaku here, and we got some opening and ending songs from the anime here. And we have these little trophies here. These trophies indicate how well you perform in that song. Having one trophy means on that difficulty right here, which will be for beginner. If it's all the way filled up, that means you got an S rank on it, which means you got your 10 full gems for playing that song here. And intermediate's the second one, and the third one is going to be yellow, or kind of a yellow-orangish, which means you completely completed that song here. So there's going to definitely be a lot of songs that you can go through here. Next up, we have daily songs, which rotate every day. These songs have no MV. I'll show you a little bit later what that looks like. But an MV means there's going to be no 3D dance. It's just going to be 2D, and it's just going to be a girl jumping in place. These songs will give you nice rewards. It's highly recommended to do 2D songs as much as you can, as they give you a lot of these things, and they've been very scarce for me for a lot. So these are very useful here. As well as these give you these right here. As I talked about before, you need these to upgrade a character, and if you want a specific character, wait for their daily song, which rotates every day. And every character has one, so go ahead and do it, and you can get a lot of these here. The higher the difficulty, the more rewards you get. You can also get it from all the regular songs here, but it's not singled out for most of the groups, but you can get anyone that performs in a song. So if you have a subunit song, you can get anyone from that subunit, but if you do one of these solo songs, you're guaranteed to get that. These are what the accessories look like. So you can equip these to your team, and this will give you a slight stat boost on them. I'm going to come back to scouting, so let's jump into training here. So training is going to consume what is called these AP points. If you ever run out, you can wait, or you can spend AP tickets or star gems here. So for example, you can do one at a time or recover 3 at a time, and you can see I gain one of these green boots here. Now there's a lot of choices you can do here. If you know you need a certain thing, you can go ahead and do that. I've been sticking with voice training a lot because I've been struggling to get as many of these here, but if you're early on, you might want to get these because this are important to upgrade your levels here. So you can pick any one you want, it doesn't matter that much here. Here you have your team formation, and these small numbers right here indicates your skills. So there's this right number indicates your skill maximum slots, while the left one indicates how many skills they currently have. So you probably want to put your best members in here and try to get them skills here. Here we have training items. This one guarantees that the center, right here, the leader, is going to get a skill every time you do it. Doesn't mean it's going to be good, but it could be good. And here, we have an increased rare item drop rate. So that could also help you get some more stuff that you need. So let's take a look at what a training looks like. So every member has a chance of gaining a skill, but the one that's the most likely is the middle character, especially because you can force it if you have one of those items here. It will run through here and give you kind of these presents. The general idea is this blue is not as good as the red presents that you can get. After training is complete, you get your rewards. So this is good here. These things and this kind of thing sucks, but that's the idea here. And if they gain skills, you can get them right here. The basic idea of skills is that this gray outer color is worse. Then we get kind of the bronze, the silver, the gold, and then the rainbow. If you get the rainbow, that's the best skill. You want as many rainbow skills as you can. If you're interested, you can go to Catch Again, which has a tier list on there to explain what is good here. But the idea is just for basic play, just try to get the higher color. If you have one that already has a skill and they try and gain another skill, you can choose which one to replace. So the training is very useful for getting a lot of resources, as well as getting skills for your characters. Here we have the episode, so let's go ahead and go to your list. This will have all the girls displayed here. So we have Muse, Aqua, and Nijigasaki here. So Let's say I want to take a look at Setsuna, for example. Here, it will show you a lot of things. So we have the main girl, her name. You can click this out as her partner if you want, or you can go back into main menu, do it there. The rewards will show you as you upgrade this bond, you get rewards. So what is this bond? This bond is basically, well, I guess a bond with this character. The more you use this character, the more bonds you get. The more bond you get, the more rewards you get. On top of that, you unlock more things. For upgrading the bond, you can get unlocks for certain voice lines. On top of having their bonds upgraded, you can also unlock other things. But the rewards is definitely one of the beneficiary things to do here. If you... A word of advice to all of you, especially who are just starting, you will have to get all your Nijigaku members to bond level 15 or higher if you want to unlock their second solo songs. So if you're out there, start upgrading your bond early with them. To upgrade your bond, you can put them in your teams and play them when you're in the songs. The center member gets more, and duplicates do count and double the amount of bond you get. I think that wasn't in the original game. I don't know if it is in now. So test it out. But that is definitely the fastest way to do it. But I'll talk about other quick ways to do it as well. So get into level 15. Once you get into level 15, you unlock a different amount of stories. You need episode 7 or 8, I can't remember. And then watch that story and you'll unlock that new song for them. Side episodes are what you get through unlocking the story through a certain card. By doing this, you can get a nice story for them. And just, I don't know. You might also listen to a special variation of their theme here. You can see featured songs that they perform in if you're interested in that. And if you click on School Hours, you can see all the different cards for that character at that moment. Visuals is where you change the outfit for that girl. So if you wanted to have this outfit for her, you can have it here. If you want to default to this outfit, especially when you're on main menu, you do it here. Another important thing about this, I do recommend going through every girl and picking your favorite outfit. Why? If you ever happen to go in a song and you have a duplicate member, it will auto default to whatever the costume is on this screen. So if you keep running like 5 Makis on your team and you're doing an Aqua song, make sure all your Aqua members are wearing your favorite outfit. That means they will be wearing that outfit when they have been replacing Makis. So I think that's a good idea. And you know, when it comes to the screen, you also get a nice outfit. Backgrounds is going to change whatever it's going to be, this background here, but also if you set as a partner, that will change their background as well. So if you're interested in that, of course, you can do this for every single member here. And remember, get all these girls to 15. It's a good idea to do that. There's nothing that I noticed from anything else from that's unlocking songs for bonds for these girls, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's the whole point of the screen here. Now, before I forget, because I know there are a few things I tend to forget, is if you tap this character right here 5 times a day, you can get additional bonds, 20 points each, up to 100. You can do it for whatever character. You can do it for your partner. If you do not want to do it for your partner, you can go ahead and jump to this page and tap on whoever you want, and they'll give you a message. So let's say I pick Maki, for example, here. You can go ahead and tap on her, and she'll give you a message, and it'll show a little bond, and that heart shows you how many you completed in that one day here. Now that we've gone through that, let's take a look at scouting here. So scouting is basically the same as before here. So you can spend 500 instead of 50 to get a 10 scouts, and you get 1 guaranteed super rare or above. If you pay money, you can get a really cheap one here, but I don't pay money, so that's not going to be a thing here. I generally recommend doing this because it at least guarantees some form of luck, and statistically speaking, this should be the best. But I don't know, my luck sucks sometimes. So it's up to you what you want to do, but I probably would recommend doing this if you're going to do it. And on top of that, you also get what it shows here, these shiny quartz. So I guess it's best in the end. So they do denote a difference between paid stars and free stars here. So, you know, take a look at that. This, as you can see, this is paid. You cannot get it, so don't even try to scout unless you pay money here. So let's take a look at what a scout would look like here. So depending on what your screen looks like when you hit the scout, it can indicate what quality of members you pull here. If you only see just kind of these white sticks that are going, that probably means you only got one super rare, and that super rare wasn't even new. This kind of screen indicates you probably got a new super rare, and if you see rainbow all over the place, that probably means you get an ultra rare. It's not a guarantee, because sometimes the game will juke you out, but it generally indicates what you're going to get here. Showing this star probably is going to tell me I only got one new super rare here. So, you know, bad luck and whatnot. So, as you can see, this flashes of light. Wow, that's better than I thought I would get. So, these flashes of light indicate that the yellow is going to be a super rare here. So, I got the Kanata here, which is her initial Kanata, which will give her the Nemeru outfit. Got the initial Hanyo. We got, I already pulled that Rin. And I got Amani. And the rest are rare, so I'm just going to skip those here. So, every time you pull a new member, the max bond will increase here. So that it increases the limit if you're wondering why I can't get to 50, even though they showed you can clearly get to 50 here. As you can see, these limits increase because I pulled these characters before. So now I can go further in upgrading of their limits. And we got these new members here. So if we take a look at Rin right here. Now you see that thing right there, that means her limit has been increased here. So that's the basic gist of this game here. So this gives you a basic idea of what you should be doing on this main screen, and this gives you a basic idea of what should be going on. Welcome to the Japanese side, where things will look obviously a little different, especially because it's in Japanese, but of course I am a higher level with more things unlocked, so I can show you a little bit more what this game will become here. So here is the event tab, since we don't have events yet in the other game. By clicking on here, when events come up, you can see your rank right here with the name of event, as well as certain types of stories showing up here. We have certain locks, this is a story, and this will just jump into the live shows here. By clicking on this thing right here, you'll get to see your rankings of people. People probably don't have a life, or at least their life is this game. And here you can start seeing rewards. When you do an event, you'll be guaranteed a super rare of another person, as well as an ultra rare. So do participate in events as much as possible and at least get the ultra rare. I don't know if they'll ever come back, maybe in scouts, but these will be free. You just gotta participate a lot. But these are nice cards and you just get them. So for this one, I need 120,000 points. As you can see, I'm almost there, and I'll just get straight up an ultra rare for doing that. Now, depending on your ranking in an event, you will get different rewards. You can get certain titles, and you probably want to at least get into the top 50,000 if you can, so you can get another one of that ultra rare, which will increase that limit of that character. So I do recommend participating, at least trying to get in the top 50,000. That's where the rewards more or less is reasonable and not too hard to get, and it gets a good payoff here. So let's go ahead and jump back to this thing as I want to show you. So let's take a look at Kasumi. I have a few of her outfits. So as you can see, she has a different outfit, and you want to clear more stories as they update the game here. With different outfits, you can go ahead and see which ones are available, which ones I unlocked and have not unlocked. And if you want to go change them, you can. So each character has a lot of outfits. So if you have a certain outfit that you like for each character, go ahead and throw them on. Let's take a look at, say, Hanamaru. I have almost every single one of her outfit here. So this is give you a decent idea of the outfits. We got a regular one. We got the cheerleader set. This is an ultra rare. This is Kimi no Kokoro. This is an event, the fairy one. We got our Azuno Jumping Heart super rare. Kokoro Magic A to Z, you had to buy it. They are not available for drops. So if you're willing to shell out cash for that, you can get that. I didn't. As well as 9 Anniversary, which you got to choose 9 out of 27 girls or whatever it was to get for free, and I haven't been kind of monitors there. So here's a little look of what my training screen looks like. As you can see, as higher rarities and upgraded members, they have 2 out of 2 slots here, so that means they got a little bit of skills here. As you upgrade each character and increase their limits, you'll be able to go ahead and do more with that. As you can see here, the normal cutoff is right here, but since I've gotten her twice, she's got pulled all the way to here, and if you go all the way here, you can see the skills that she currently has. So I currently have 2 of the gold voltage pluses, because that's apparently the only thing I can pull here. As for story, there's of course a lot more story to go on. I'm all the way up to chapter 11 here, so spoilers, I'm not gonna go over it, but there's definitely more story for you to go through. Here, you don't quite have yet. It's just nothing important. It's just the daily messages between characters. I don't really pay attention too much to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the lives here. So I'm going to be playing on the hardest difficulty, so it gives you an idea of what it is. Now the important thing, the difference between Squall Festival and Love Live Squall Festival All-Stars, is that this game is a rhythm RPG game. Squall Festival was an RPG game with very little emphasis on the RPG element. If you're good enough at the game, you can survive. Here, it's not at all dependent on how good you are at the game. You need a good team to survive here. So let's go ahead and jump to a song that I can probably pass, like Tokimeki Runners here. So as you go through your team here, you can go ahead and adjust whoever you want. I'm going to go ahead and switch to my stronger team here. So let's take a look at the screen here. Here it's at the bottom left here. This is where you go ahead and change your settings if you wanted to have higher quality or not. This button right here, if you complete the song once, you can just let the song play it for you and you don't have to do anything. So it's pretty nice if you don't have what I'm going to talk about next. This section right here, skip tickets. Skip tickets are a godsend. This is how you participate in a lot of events, especially if you are unable to participate a lot. I recommend logging on and just skip ticketing. Skip tickets will let you automatically get an S on that song, but in order to use it, you must have gotten an S rank on the song before. It doesn't matter what team you get it with, but you have to get an S rank on the song on that difficulty that you want to skip with. By completing a skip, you get the S rewards, and it assumes you complete it, and that's it. I recommend doing this with worse teams, probably ones you want to build bond with. Skip tickets are a great way to build bonds, especially for those Nijigaku members you want to lock for songs. I recommend just making a team filled of characters you want to up their bond, and just skip ticket away on the highest difficulty you can. That is the easiest way to gain a lot of bond here. This thing right here is an event-specific item. They all function the same. And just as if I turn this on, when I play the song, I will receive a multiplier of event rewards. The way events work sometimes is that they give you a certain amount of points, or they can give you a certain amount of drops. So they might give you like flowers or something. That will give a multiplier of the drops you receive, or in this case, it's just points. So I receive more points for participating in them. Now, certain members that you pull from the scouting events will give you more points, or the super rares and ultra rares you get for participating event will also give you more rewards here. If you see this right here, the P2 means you get 2% more for having that character on your team. So if you do run them, you get more points here, but be mindful that getting a lower tier or a ranking on your song will give you even less rewards. So it's probably not worth it if it's going to make you do not as well here. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and do a song here. So now let's take a look at a normal live. So this is the live screen here. So at the left and right, you see these two arrows. These are indicating the subunits here. So as I said, as you see a picture here, there are 3 different subunits indicated by colors: green, red, and blue. You start with green as your default. When you are playing a song, only your green units will really matter, as well the active skills that they have, while the red and blue teams are not being activated. So their active skills won't matter, but their passive skills will go off. But then if you want a certain team that's going to be used, you want to switch the subunits by hitting these green arrow or this blue arrow to switch to the subunit color. Once you switch, there will be a cooldown. You have to hit a certain amount of notes before you can switch again. Switching different teams will give you a little boost. So maybe you can try switching a lot if that's your thing. But beyond that, I generally don't switch unless it's forced to when we have something called an appeal chance. So let's take a look at the very, very top. The top is the bar here. Depending on how far it is, it'll show you how far you are in the song. If you see those pink bars over there, that indicates what we call appeal chance. During appeal chance, it's your time to reach a certain objective, which will stay up in that center middle. If you pass that objective, you'll then get a voltage boost, so each thing will score a little bit more. As you go ahead and fulfill that requirement, you can receive a lot of points. Make sure you do it, because it's important. If you fail it, you will receive a lot of lost life here. This will really destroy you, especially in high difficulties. So pass it if you can. One way to pass it is beyond the requirements, which could be something as simple as get 9 grades or get a certain amount of points during a time. But you can also might be required to hit a certain amount of notes with a certain amount of characters. Each time you tap a note, it will chain through the next character in your subunit. So you might have to switch, because if it's a 6, you're only able to hit 3, because when you're on a certain subunit, it only focuses on that subunit there. If you look at the bottom, that is where we're going to have our life, which is going to be in the left section, the right, which is our score section, and then this kind of little mini half arch here. This is what I call kind of like where you have all your SP here. Whenever you tap a note, or if you hit a special note that can give you a boost of SP. You want to collect this and save this for appeal chances. Why? Well, by activating this, you'll get a little cutscene showing all the girls in the center of your subunit. So not who's in your current appeal team or current subunit that you have activated. It's just generally the 3 members in the middle of your team. So once you tap this, you'll get an infusion of points, which can help you get some past the appeal chances. So you can use this whenever you want, as long as it's charged. So you want to use this probably when you need the points the most. The appeal chances are generally going to be when you want to do that. By activating the appeal chances, you get a fusion of points and activate the increase of voltage on your appeal chance. And on top of that, you will not lose stamina for the rest of that appeal chance. Every time you tap a note, you will lose stamina. So this is really important for you to make sure that you pass the appeal chance. Especially in higher difficulties, you want to save this SP and activate it when you have an appeal chance. If you do not pass the appeal chance, you'll take a lot of loss of life, especially in higher difficulties, which will cause you to fail instantly. Depending on how long that pink section in the very top, you can tell, well, first of all, how many appeal chances and when they're coming, and potentially what appeal chance it would be. Some appeal chances require you to spend a certain amount of SP. That means you have to use that special at the bottom to pass it. So make sure you save it if you know the song, and if you know you don't need to pass appeal chances to get a good grade in the song, then you can spend it whenever you want. Or if you know there's no more appeal chances left, go ahead and spend it and spam the heck out of it. But a word of advice, especially in hard difficulties, save it for that appeal chance if you want a chance at passing it. Not all of them, the appeal chances require it, especially if you see a few that are really short and next to each other. You have to be careful, and you just might want to save it. So now we saw my team in play here. Why did I run my team this way? Well, mainly because all the team people in blue and red are more or less have a lot of passive skills, while I have good scorers in green, which would be Kana and Umi. But most importantly, all the way on the right, we have the wedding dress Ellie. As you can see, that's the kind of that heart skill here. She does recovery, and recovery is important if you want to be able to do well on lives. The recovery skill will increase your stamina at certain points. It depends on what the stat is. It might be only during appeal chances. It might be depending on if you hit a certain amount of notes or whatever the condition is. But this will bring up your life bar a little bit, which if you look back in the life, you can see once in a while my stamina goes back up. In higher difficulties, this is key because you'll not be able to survive that unless you have an insane amount of stamina, which certain characters do provide a lot of stamina. Some people tend to try to run 2 recoveries. Some characters might provide a shield, which gets a blue outline around your stamina, which I think only happens in appeal chances, which makes it so you can't lose some life during that time. It can also protect you from certain notes that give you a really big hit on your stamina, just because why the heck not. So it's really important to try to get a good recovery member and go look at the tier list. I'll talk about it a little later. But that's really important for her because she makes it you have more life. Why is life so important? Well, A, you don't want to fail. If you fail, you lose half your stamina and you get nothing. But more importantly, B, having higher stamina means you will get more points. If you get more points per tap, you get a better score. And if you get a better score, you're more likely to get an S rank, which will give you 10 stars if you get an S rank on the first time. So it's important to take a look and see, at least have one recovery member on your frontline team. So more or less I cleared the song with a decent amount of life and I got an S rank. So depending on the rank you get, the more rewards you're going to get here. So it's important for you to try to get the highest rank as possible, but higher rarity is a little bit better in terms of rewards. As you can go see in the next screen, when you are participating in an event, you can get certain types of rewards here. So I have a multiplier here, times 1.5 because I consumed that item here, and then we get increase of bonds here for each member that is on your team. Centers get a little bit more, and if you run 2 versus a member, you get even more here. So there are lots of songs that come out. If it's see a 2D right here, that means there is no MV available, which means they'll just be 2D, which is definitely not as nice. But let's talk about one of my favorite features of this game here. So let's say I want to take a look at the song here. Let's tap this MV button that was next to the play button. So MV is going to be unlocked as long as you have that song unlocked. Here we have our 3 difficulties toggled here. And I recommend going to the highest difficulty. The higher the difficulty you have, the better the effects as well as the background for that song. You can either run whatever team you want, and it'll show you these 3 members will be dancing here. Or you can pick the correct formation. This will automatically pick the correct formation as well as the correct outfits if you have the correct outfits. If there is no correct outfits, you can't do it. But if you want to choose anyone dancing, you can. It does not have to be the right character. But I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at this with my standard team here. If you want to change something, you can. But it's completely up to you. If you go ahead and click play here, this will automatically load MV. This is just the song playing without you have to play the game itself. So if you're interested in just looking at how the song looks and just want to enjoy the show, this is one of the best ways to do it. Make sure you pick the highest difficulty, and it's just wonderful. You can pick whatever character and outfit you want and mix and match what you want. It doesn't even have to make sense, and you can have a lot of fun with characters that don't make sense dancing with certain songs. So more or less you can keep this going on as long as you want. It goes for the whole song. I'm not going through the whole thing. That's gonna make the tutorial way too long here. So this is going to be available for pretty much every song released on here. It's not available for any of the dailies. But make sure you check for the 2D before you do it. Now, I did say I was going to take a look at the accessories here. So what are these accessories? Accessories have 3 different rarities. This is the highest rarity, as you can see by the rainbow border. This is going to be the second highest rarity. And the lowest rarity are going to be these things with the silver here. These things you can equip to your team. And they function kind of similar to kind of a little hybrid mix of the new system of idols and the old system of idols here. So let's take a look at this thing right here. So this thing will give you certain stats here as well as that same limit system that exists for the idols. If you have a duplicate of an item, you can go ahead and combine it with this and you can raise the limit here. I already raised the limit 3 times here, but as you can see I have like 2 reds here. I can go ahead and combine them to raise that limit further. Increasing the limit increases the maximum level this thing can go up to. And to increase the level, you must consume of these items right here. Or you can spend these orbs, which you can, or whatever these things are called, and you can go ahead and upgrade them. I don't think there's a difference between the colors that I've noticed. I've been trying to figure out what's the point of it, but I haven't noticed the difference. The only difference I noticed if it's 1 star or 2 star, 2 star obviously gives you a little bit more XP here. So I can go ahead and increase this level here if I want to spend it. And it can hit max if you want to get all the way to that max level. So I don't know, let's... Sure, I don't know. Go ahead and max the level here. So there we go, I maxed the level. So now it provides you more stats here. So let's take a look at another example here. So I have this thing right here, and now by tapping and holding on it, it shows you this thing. If you want to increase the rarity of this thing to the higher rarity, which is the rainbow, you need to collect these 125 of these these orbs here. So let's see, let's go to something like here. So by tapping on the bottom left, you can go ahead and consume a certain amount of these orbs by consume these orbs, you can upgrade the rarity. So this one's going to only take 25 instead of 125, but that's a lot to get here. You can also increase the skill thing right here. You can do that by consuming specifically these things, not these things. So this shows you the chance here. The higher the level, the lower the chance is. So as you get to starting to be like level 5, it gets really hard to do it. So let's take a look at this thing right here. This one I already have at level, was it 10? So by only getting one, this only gives me a measly 5% chance. That's really hard. By consuming one of these higher ones, I get a 20% chance, which is, you know, if you want to gamble, you can go for it. But increasing the skills here definitely makes it a little better. So you can go ahead and equip these on your teams, which I'll show you very quickly after I show you one more thing here. So another thing in this menu here is that you wonder, how do you get these orbs? Well, one way to do it is by getting rid of these items here. I think I'm on the wrong page. So by going to this page, let's say I don't want these things. You can get rid of these things and turn each one into an orb here. This is how you're going to upgrade these accessories to the higher tier. And in the end, you probably want to try to get to the highest rarity, because these low ones are very common and not very useful. These are going to be also a little bit better, but you're only going to get these from drops, from lives, if you participate in harder difficulty ones, which is definitely going to be harder for someone who's newer to the game. If I were to go ahead and try to sell something of this quality, you get 5, which is definitely more, but not that much. So if you want to equip this to your team, you can go ahead and tap it on here and line up whatever the way you want. Each one will give you an increase in certain stats like skills, SP, and voltage, depending on what you equip. More or less, I think it's a good idea just to throw them in anyways. So if you can't figure out which is good or not, at least throw them in and upgrade them. That is at least a good start, and that's more or less what I'm just trying to show you, is just to get you a start here. If you're looking for a good team and certain characters, more or less what I would do is, I'll give you a link in the description. I went to catchagain.com, and he gives you a tier list on a Google Sheet, which shows you which characters are good. There's 2 basic strategies. There is the one subunit team, which I use, or there is the switching between subunits team, where you can specialize if you want to do a certain task. The one I used was the tier 1, or the strategy 1, which is called the frontline. The frontline is simply just this one. It's the green one. You pick one subunit and you throw in units that are good for that are good with active skills. The other 2 subunits, which is being blue here and red here, you throw in the best passive skills. Whoever is currently out is going to matter, who has certain active skills. So take a look at that tier list. The higher the rank, the better. But you can also try to throw in other members here. Beyond that, the other set that matters is the stamina, which is this heart. The higher the stamina, the more health you're going to have when you perform a song. So take a look at that tier list and pick whatever you want. And of course, if you want to see what it looked like if you had different outfits, you can go ahead and tap there and have more outfits. So that's more or less it. I know you probably have some more questions. I'm not the best guide to necessarily explain all the strategies in the games, what is the best teams. I would recommend looking into people who spend more time researching and ranking different tiers. So go to the tier list if you're interested in that. But this more or less is just a basic guide to get you guys started and to clear up a lot of confusion that you might have. Hopefully this helped you guys out, and maybe it will make it better for you. Make sure you take a look at all the tips that I gave, and hopefully this will help you out in the game. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to catch you guys in another video soon.